skill number 3 of the care leader is to practice the value of connection to learn to drive innovation and change at work. How to drive innovation and change, how to tackle resistance from employees to changes due to innovation. This is the job of the care leader. You need to pursue something bigger than yourself and operate beyond the comfort of business as usual. Push yourself to embrace change and overcome short-term issues so that you can drive people to see a brighter future. You need to learn to build new muscles, transform the culture, and embrace new methodologies to ensure a resilient and adaptable organization that is prepared to ride the new change. That is the skill number 3 uh, of the connection of the care leadership program. So I like to see connection as part of the Steve Jobs teaching. Steve Jobs used to say, connect the dots. Remember that very well-known Stanford speech? Well, he means that you had to observe your past experiences and use them to build your future. Make time, you as a leader, to explore, pursue a new experience, and if possible, put yourself into the position of a student, a novice, or a beginner. Doing so will sharpen your ability to lead. To become an agile leader that can adapt to any situation, you cannot just rely on the past, but you need to be able to connect those experiences with the current information to be able to pivot more easily. This is an opportunity to stretch yourself and discover how adaptive, resilient, and creative you can be. Keep a positive attitude to remove fear and attract more innovation. If you're in a crisis, especially, think that this shall pass too, and that you can do something about it. You need to help your team accept the new normal or whatever is new in your situation in an empathetic way. The new normal doesn't mean that things won't get better, but it does mean that it will take time and things are going to be different from what they were in the past. So you need to set your team free of fear, of uncertainty, and embrace what's new. That's the first part of the change. So what you can do to train yourself to adapt to change, you can try doing new things such as learning new hobbies, just dancing, bachata, or going to skydiving, anything that can be new for you. So you start changing the way you think and try to acquire new ways of thinking and promote your exploring skills. At its core, allowing yourself to be surprised means you're open to the loss of control. This is not an easy skill to cultivate. Leaders are always asked to keep control. You also your family or the demands at work make you required to have everything under control. But that is not helping you to deal with new situations. So the teams you lead require leaders who are comfortable delegating power and authority and who can accept the consequences that come with the loss of control. So it's very important that you develop this skill. Why? Because innovation cannot be dictated. You can dictate procedures, but you cannot simply ask people to come up with new ideas. What you can do is build and support a context where innovation can flourish organically. Managers usually want good ideas to flourish, but ideas are usually stuck somewhere and never get to the right hands. Usually, employees have lots of ideas on how to improve their processes, how to use different tools, or how to improve the customer satisfaction and mention them to the middle manager or to their supervisor. But what happened next? That's the common story. There are no processes to capture those ideas. Middle managers are afraid to take a risk, to be seen as weaker than the employee, or too liberal. So ideas are seen as proof that something is incorrect. So they are not welcome. Some think that ideas are only for marketing or for the Department of Development, but really ideas are for everyone. But unfortunately, employees are usually punished for having those ideas. So Employees learn that ideas are for no good. So what you basically have to do is build a culture of innovation. You can depend on one smart guy to develop all the new features in the company, or you can build that skill into the company culture and make everyone innovate. Strategy is what the company wants to do, marketing is what the company say will do, but the culture is really what the company really does. So culture, not strategy or marketing alone, is what will drive innovation in the long term. How you can build innovation? By first building a context that fosters innovation, then training your team. Your team will not learn alone how to innovate. You cannot just tell them, hey, go and bring new ideas. There are many techniques that can help you do that. Then once you train your team, you can engage them, to be able to come up with ideas. And fourth, explore new technologies that can help you with that. So how you build a context where you can you have people that can innovate, give them tools, and especially set them free. One of the reasons why productivity decreased a lot in many companies while going remotely is because the power of triggering ideas, open offices, and in company cafes were really good to trigger ideas through informal connections. What happened when that disappears? You have to build it somehow. The company Globant, for example, created Start Me Up, an operating system that can recreate these casual encounters. Employees can ask for slots to meet people with specific characteristics or interest within the company. The software will trigger random meetings with other employees around the world in what they call virtual chillouts. While they meet, they will also access to augmented information on their Zoom account on who they are, what do they do, or how many stars they have. That is something that is very internal for the company. But the good thing is that uh, you can get to connect with people informally. Just you receive a message from someone that you don't know, but belongs to your company and have some of your interests. So that is a great way to continue promoting these informal interactions. The other thing that you can do is train your people. Train them to be able to innovate. Innovation is a skill that you can acquire through time by practicing how to connect ideas. It's not a genetic trait. It's more a habit that you can develop by practicing every day. But there are different tools such as design thinking, mind mapping, brainstorming, deconstruct and reconstruct, trees, problem solving techniques. Those are things that should be learned. Really, you don't have to be their hero. You have to work with your team, connect with them, and engage them to craft a solution together. That is going to connect you together more than anything. You will involve them in the solution, and they will be more prone or more willing to participate. If autonomy is promoted, remote work can boost innovation. Chef Shivaldine, the Chief Culture Officer of the company Five, awarded one as one of the most innovative companies by Entrepreneur, says that the key to success is to give a free pass for people to be creative as long as they have in mind the purpose and vision of the company. Sometimes formalities, structure, and fear temper this spirit. So, for instance, some of their employees are more innovative than ever, given that they're less distracted working from home. So you have to find out what is best for your employees. Team innovation can also be promoted by organizing remote brainstorming sessions and retrospective sessions. Some of the tools that you can use is like the one you see on the screen, which is Mural. Then you can use Poll Everywhere to ask for questions. You can use Retrium for retrospectives. You can use Teams. There are many ways you can get to connect to your people. So use technology as much as possible. You can use also frameworks such as design for exponentials, future forecasting, narrative-driven innovation, exponential leadership. There are many, many ways. For example, artificial intelligence, it's also a good one. Machine learning, and there are many ways that you can use technology to ramp up your innovation. And this is a good example of how artificial intelligence can contribute to worker safety, for example. In manufacturing companies, many management teams are working to produce health and safety guidelines, like the mandatory wearing of personal protective equipment and social distancing protocols to reduce the risk of COVID-19 or other pandemics that may come in the future. So the problem is that these guidelines sometimes go so far, but it takes a strict enforcement to ensure that the personnel really adheres to them. So what some of the tools that you can have is use artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things to enable technologies that can help employees work in a different way. How you can do that? Imagine, for example, as employees arrive at the company, workers place an industrial grade wearable device on their wrist here, such as a watch, put on their PPE, their hat, their glasses, their uh, mouth cover, and get to work. Over the course of the workday, as an employee become consumed in the task at hand, maybe they accidentally step closer than 6 feet to their colleagues or remove their PPE to scratch their face or touch their hair and fail to put it back on properly. And I've seen it in many companies that happens all the time. They go for lunch or they go to the restroom and they forget their hat, for example. So the artificial intelligence tool can use high definition cameras and notice that this employee is missing the hat and can send a gentle reminder to the employee via their wearable to keep 6 feet away or replace their PPE, while sending another notification to the manager, which enables them to identify staff members who may require additional coaching. On top of this, thermal imaging capabilities can routinely capture employees' temperature throughout the day, detecting possible fevers and alerting management so the employee can be quarantined and sent for testing as quickly as possible. So there are many ways that technology can help you achieve your results. So use it as much as possible. That's why to close up this chapter, I'll show you this great example of innovation during COVID. When COVID started, patients were asked to wait in their car and call or text the office when they arrived to an optometrist or a hospital in some cases. So some companies went farther than that, trying to make it the life easier to their patients. And one of these companies is called 1-800 Contacts, which they developed the Express Exam. It is an app that allows customers to renew their contact lens prescriptions through a 10-minute online vision exam from home, from your phone, as you can see on the screen. So the CEO, John Graham, says that they got a 200 increase in the use of Express Exam over the pandemic. So telemedicine is a great way not only to do business for this company, but also it makes a lot of, it helps a lot different people because it makes also patients save time and save money. Really what they say that they have their values, as we mentioned before, the importance of values, and one of their 5 values is live for impossible. So this is a mindset that if you have a problem that anyone thinks it's impossible, you need to figure out how to solve it, and this is part of the culture. Really, this is buying contact lens online is something that in the past was not possible, and now it is possible. Let's review the summary of the session. First, build a context that fosters innovation, train your team, then engage your team in the solution, and explore new technologies. Let's do a final exercise to practice what you learned. Write down in your notebook what are the challenges that you had while you were working remotely, and what are the learnings that you would like to share. And if you would like to share with your team too, feel free to do it or share in social media. Everything that we'll learn, it's great to share and connect it with others. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this session of connecting. And these are my contacts. In case you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me or to look for my social media at look Paulise or look for the more information on the Will Culture app. And see you in the next video. Thank you.